What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the toy table for another video. In today's video, I'm going to take a plain old Treadspeeder and customize it. That's right, you heard me correct. We're going to take this Rise of Skywalker Treadspeeder and we're going to take it from it looks okay, but we're going to make it better. We're going to customize it to the way I want it to look like. So first things first, let's get it out of the box. Once I get it out of the box, I'll be back and we'll be able to get the customizing going. Well, I got it out of the box. You know, you guys don't want to see me open the box up, but anyway, so let's talk about the actual Treadspeeder itself. This is actually, it's very cool looking out of the box. It's got some great detail on it. I do personally, it would have been really cool if the tread actually moves, but it's got like a wheel right here, but that's okay. It's nice, but I've always thought that it could look better, and with a little bit of weathering, a little bit of paint, a little extra color here and there, I think we can make this look so much better. The Stormtrooper comes on it. You know, he's a Stormtrooper with a rubber thing on his arm. So, yeah, I mean, he looks good. Nothing wrong with him. We might do a little weathering on him as well, but the main focus is the actual Treadspeeder itself. So I tell you what, let's get the camera down on the down view so you can actually see me go through the process. Before we start, what do you need? Yes, what do you need? All right, need a couple of cups. Boom, they don't have to be clear. You just need some cups. You need some napkins. You need, of course, paintbrushes. This is water. You will need some alcohol. And of course, you need paint. For today's project, we're probably going to primarily look at black and brown. I think that's the two colors I'm going to use for this particular weathering. So, I'll tell you what, let's get the camera pointed down. Let's get this party started. All right, so one of the things with this particular toy is it does have an action thing, which is pretty cool. But when you put this piece here on and you press the button right here, this actually launches those pieces in and they break apart. I personally, I don't care for that. I'm just not a big fan. So one of the things I'm going to do before I actually start the actual process, I'm actually going to glue these together because I don't care for that particular feature. So before we start painting, and you don't have to do this step. This is just my personal preferences here. But we're going to put a little dab of super glue right here on this little hole area right here to where this piece fits in together. And hopefully it'll all set up and everything by the time we get ready to weather this. That part will be ready to go. So we don't have to actually worry about weathering this piece now. So I can actually set this piece aside. We'll set it right there for now. As far as the speeder itself, when you're going to weather something, here's my recommendations: is you want to do the darker colors first and then lighter colors. So we'll definitely be doing black first. This has like a bluish gray to it, which looks okay, but I just personally think it needs to be dirty. The paint we're going to be using, it's just simple paint from Walmart. It's like a buck a bottle. You can get it at Hobby Lobby. I mean, it's not expensive paint at all. You don't even need, I don't even recommend buying expensive paint for something like this. So we'll take some paint, put it in the old glass there. If you've watched any of my other videos regarding weathering, the alcohol is my preferred medium. because it evaporates quicker than water does. You can use water for this process, but I personally prefer alcohol. So we just get in here and mix it all up. And of course, once again, I did not put on any rubber gloves, but that's okay. All right, so basically you just want it soupy. I mean, that's all you want. All right, we got, I'm gonna lay this right there if we get it out of the way. All right, so we got our paper towels ready. Now, a lot of people think that you don't need to weather this part because it's black with the black paint. Me personally, I will be doing all of it. So you just basically get in here and wipe this down like so. I'm coming over the whole thing right here. And a piece like this, you could actually do it. You could do it like this right here. You could do a big chunk of the surface at one time. One of the things that I recommend doing is blotting. Don't rub. Just blot the paint in. Once you get it blotted, where the biggest chunk of it's gone, then you can come back and do a wipe. That's my personal style. But I mean, you can already see, because I mean, this is like a motorcycle. It's got mechanics. It's got gears, moving parts. You're going to have, you know, oil and residue and all this other stuff that's going to be slinging up out of the housings and stuff. So to me, this makes so much sense having it weathered and having this black layer in here because it simulates grease. But yeah, right there. I mean, compared to the other side, already it looks so much better compared to the back here. So we'll come back through here. And also on the black section right here, even though this was already black, you've added another layer of black right here, which that gives it some dynamics. It just makes it look so much better. So once again, just come in here, brush it on. I'm going to save the actual feet part for last. I'm actually going to come up here and get these handlebars. Get these things. Might as well go ahead and get this little center section right here. And again, you're coming back, you're blotting. This is what you're doing. Once you get it blotted, which the blot's going to take the biggest chunk of the paint off. Because if you rub it when it's completely wet, it's just going to take all the paint off. So I want to blot it in. That way it gets down in the cracks. Gets down in all the nooks and crannies, all these little recessed pieces right here. These fin assembly right here is another place. Then I'll just, like I said, come back through. Give her a good wipe down. And you want to be relatively quick with this. You don't want to like let it just sit. So once you get it on there, you need to start the blotting process pretty quick, because depending on the plastic, it'll go in really quick and get too dark on you. But there's ways around that too. Again, you're just blotting. Once you start the blotting process, then you can come back in and you can just give her a good wipe. But like I said, this section right in here, I'm wanting to see grease. I want to see that it's been used and everything. Now, if you notice this section right here, it didn't take that good, and that's because I actually wiped it instead of blotted it first. Now, this is actually underneath that hood section, so it's not that crucial. But I still want to put some paint on there. I want to get some stuff on there. So we'll come back through here, grab this section, get that thing all weathered up. Come back in and blot some more. Yeah, this is looking so much better. I mean, just look at that. I mean, just hands down, so much better. And of course, you can't forget the rear section. Nice little blots. Get that now. Get those fin areas right there. Oh yeah, so much better. All right, so now we'll get the actual stirrups. Get these bad boys done, and we will almost be done with the first coat, the first layer. And if you notice, I'm not really going through and going like a ton of paper towels or a ton of napkins. You can get a lot done with one napkin, one paper towel. It's okay that it's got a little extra paint on it. It's not gonna hurt a thing. All right, one more section I want to get. I want to actually get the treads. Believe it or not, they're black, but get them anyway. Because what this is going to do, it's going to dull it and make it look better. And then when you actually put on the next coats of the other colors, it'll give it something to adhere to and just make it that much better. And this is just literally like a repeat of wipe. And so you got paint here, you can actually come back in with some of that paint and rub over. If you see some spots that maybe need a little bit extra. All right, check that out. Now you can't tell me that doesn't look so much more better, so much better right now. I mean, this thing looks like it's actually been used. Oh yeah, I'm digging it. Let's check this piece here. I'm not sure if the glue has dried up enough yet, but it's good enough that we can go ahead and start this process as well. Now, one thing I do recommend is strokes. If on flat surfaces like this, you know, run your brush in long strokes. Don't be like all over the place. That's my personal style. I think it makes it look better overall. And you will have some areas that you'll get paint in these cracks. It can be a little challenging to get out, but just be patient. Oh man, I mean, just look at that. So much better. We'll come over here, and again, you're just going to go with it like that. Almost ready to swap out paper towels or napkins. I like napkins a lot when I do things like this, because the napkin, since it's square, it's a little thicker, and I think it actually does a little better than a paper towel because I can fold it easier. I don't know, maybe I'm just being a little weird. All right, look at this. Look how much, I mean, that looks so much better. And you do get paint on you. But this one right here, we have got our money's worth out of this particular paper towel. So let's get a fresh one. Let's get a fresh one right here. Now we're going to go ahead and look at the second layer of paint for this particular paint job. So we've got the black. This is our base. We got the grease and the grime. That's what this thing should have on it because it's mechanical. It's like a tank. Got treads. I mean, it's just going to be dirty. So now I want to do some browns. I want to put some brown accents to it, because if you've ever seen heavy equipment like construction and things like that, you see dirt, right? And you see it sort of caked up, and it's like all over the sides of the vehicles and stuff like that. So that should be the same thing with this. So once again, get your brown, get some alcohol. Now you can see with this one, it's a little thick, it's a little pasty. Boom, add a little bit more alcohol. Because again, you want it really soupy. All right, and if, let's say for instance, you get a little too much alcohol in it and it gets too soupy, add a little bit more paint. That's all you got to do. So get this mixed up really, really good. Oh yeah, there we go. And basically, that's what I'm looking for right there. Just a nice little soupiness. All right, shake off a little bit of the excess. All right, here we go. So basically, you're just going to come in right over the top. And the beauty of this paint with the alcohol in it, it dries so quick that you actually can come back over this quick and put your next coat, and it does not hurt it one bit. Get it up underneath this right here. And now this is just giving you your dirty grime layer for like when he's been out running across the wasteland or whatever. And again, you want to get this black areas. You want to get all of these areas. Because even though this is going to be covered up, it's still going to be grimy, right? It's going to go up underneath the cowling, and dirt and dust finds its way everywhere. You cannot get away from dirt and grime. All right, let's put a little paint back here. And you can see I'm actually moving pretty quick. I'm not really dilly-dallying with this. Again, it's something that you don't want it to stay on too long, but I would rather have too much come off and go back than actually have too much on, because then it becomes a pain to try to get off. Once again, we'll come in through here. Really going to grime this thing up. We're griming it up. And now here's another thing too. You will be taking black paint off as well, because like I said, the black paint is not completely dry. But I like doing it this way because I think it mixes it better. It blends the colors a little bit better and looks a little bit more natural to me. And again, I'm not an expert painter by no means. I am doing this stuff just by learning and what catches my eye and what I think looks good for me. And so the same thing goes for you and your figures and your action, your vehicles, whatever. It's about what looks good to you. That's the thing you need to concentrate on. You know, if you decide to do one of these tread speeders, you shouldn't try to make it look like mine. You should try to make it look the way you want it to look. And I can already tell that I wish I had maybe a sand colored paint, because just one little shader, little shade lighter of the brown or tan, I think would look really good. All right, so we're going to get in here and get the actuals. And don't forget underneath, because guess what? Dirt goes underneath. At least where I'm from, dirt goes underneath. Just dab it, dab it, dab it. You can do the yabba dabba do. Because you're dabbing. All right, so I'm gonna add just a touch more alcohol to this, because that'll make the paint actually go a little further as well too. This brown paint that I'm using actually is a pretty thick paint. compared to the black. So it actually goes a lot further, it seems like. All right, see, I almost forgot. We got to get the handlebars. Got to get those. Dab, dab, dab. Oh yeah. All right, so I mean, you can see just by a little bit of time and effort, and I'm not, it's just like my other weathering video. I'm not cutting. I want to run this thing straight through because I want you guys to see the entire process. But I mean, it's this easy. Now, the one thing you can't forget on the Treadspeeder, you got to put some brown on the treads, because guess what? It's a Treadspeeder and it's going through the dirt. So you should have some browns and stuff inside these tread grooves. So don't forget to add some brown to these to the tread itself. Because last thing you want is wheels and tires to look brand new black when you're weathering something, because that really doesn't make much sense that it would be. Come back, dab, 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 dab. Once you dab the biggest bulk of it off, come back through, and I wipe with the direction that I think the vehicle would be going, especially on wheels and tires, because you want it to be like going with the actual flow. But now you can see the actual treads have some brown in it, which makes it look a little bit more realistic. Yeah, this brown paint that I'm using, it is definitely a lot thicker than the black. But we still got to put some brown on this one here. Now, what you could do, you could actually just, you know, do a little bit on the front, blah blah blah. But me personally, I like doing the whole thing. I just want this thing to be like he has been out in the desert or the woods or the whatever. Like, it is filthy. He has been riding this thing, tracking people down, doing his job. He's not one of them guys that rides around on a clean looking vehicle. This trooper here puts his vehicle through the paces. Puts him through the paces. He works for a living. Oh my goodness, this is looking so good. Wow. Check this out. Look at this. I mean, I personally think that is so much more of a beautiful vehicle. So let's see if I can get this thing back on. Eventually, I will probably glue this thing down all together, but I don't know, parts of me likes the fact that it comes off, because you could actually do, like, he's working on it. But yeah, right there. Look at that. All right, so let's think about this trooper here. All right, first and foremost, when it comes to troopers, I start with the feet. I usually don't go too much far past I start with the knees. And I'm actually going to do sort of a light coat on this trooper here. In other words, I'm not going to drench it. I actually wipe some of it off. Let me get a clean one here. And this one right here, you're just going to squeeze. And the reason why I'm doing from the knee down is that's just the way I do troopers. I basically start them at the knees, go down to the feet, and sort of work my way up. wiping as much off as I possibly can for what I feel looks good. Once again, we got that part done. So let's come on up here. And you don't really need a lot. You really don't need a lot with Troopers. And I don't do a lot of dabbing with Troopers. I actually go down. So I'm following the direction down to the foot, working the actual paint in. Because if it comes off, that's okay. You're still gonna have a paint there. So don't let this sit long. Literally work it, keep working it down, keep going all the way down to the foot. A lot of times I'll actually take the feet, point them straight toes down, and just drag. So now we're getting him all set up. So here's my thought processes too, is like he's riding on this, right? So he's riding on the Treadspeeder. All the grease and goo and everything else is hitting him here. You're probably not going to see much in the chest and arms area. So what I'm going to do with that, I'm going to take a big chunk of the paint off, like literally a big chunk of it off. I'm just going to be very lightly, just lightly brushing and immediately rubbing in. And a bunch of it's going to come off. A bunch of this paint is going to come off, but you're going to get it in these little nooks and crannies. And that's what you want. Come up the arm, same way. And then just wipe straight down towards the hand. This is one of those ratchet arm ones, so it's a little bit more of a challenge. Like I said, wipe the paint towards the hands. Don't wipe it back towards the back. Wipe it towards the hands. So now if we look at him, got a little bit on the head. I've not loaded the brush up. This is still the same amount of paint. For the helmet, I'm going basically front to back. And that's the way I'm going to wipe it, front to back. Start at the visor, work my way back. So now if you look at the actual helmet itself, it gets into these little nooks and crannies and you have a little bit of blacking. But if you compare it to the actual, the legs, the torso is not bad at all. But I want to, as you can see, my brush doesn't have a lot of paint left on it. But that's good because now I can come in and add some more layers and just build this up. But it's so minutely light that it's not going to hurt a thing. We're just basically right now just dirtying him up. That's what we're doing. All right. The Trooper is now got his black wash. All right, so now let's think about this logically, right? He's riding his Treadspeeder. It's dirty. So he should have some browns on him as well. So again, starting right here at the knee, stroking down. Let's put some brown on him. Like this. Coming all the way down, just like we did with the black. Just wiping straight down. Wipe down towards the foot. Come up here to the thigh. Same amount of paint. Haven't added any more paint. All right. Once again, wiping down. Wiping down. So my thought process on this Trooper is his lower half is going to be dirtier than his upper half. And as you can see, he is really getting there. Really getting there. So now we're going to add a little bit to his upper body. Again, this is a really quick, light coat. I'm just going to put a little bit on there. more of a dusty look. All right, gonna grab his arms. Just enough paint on the brush, just enough to get the job done. Because you don't want to like overload your brush. Your brush actually can get a lot of paint done with very little paint on it. So same thing we did with the head, that we did with the black. We're going to come across, then wipe front to back, front to back. All right, there is a weathered Treadspeeder driver. So I tell you what, guys, I'm going to clean up the mess, and we'll come back and I'll show you this thing up close and personal, and we'll go from there. All right, everybody, so we have wrapped things up with this little tutorial on how to weather a Treadspeeder. And me personally, I think it looks so much better. But let me show you this thing. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm very pleased with this. I mean, it literally just takes it to a whole nother level, in my opinion. And like I said, I don't know. We'll see how. There we go. We'll see if it actually. I mean, that just, to me, that just looks so wicked cool. And you've added personal touch to it. No one else has this. This is mine. No one else has this paint scheme. No one else has the way if they have a Treadspeeder and they painted it, it does not look like this. And that's the beauty of customizing your figures, your vehicles, whatever, is you're making it yours. You're putting your touch on it, and you're having fun. This is a blast to do. It is literally a blast to do. And I challenge you all to get out there and do it. Take a figure, weather it. An old vehicle, you know, it just adds so much to the actual figure and to the vehicle, and it puts a personal touch on it that makes it yours. But anyway, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Apologies, it's a long video, but when I do my weathering stuff, I don't want to do cuts. I want you guys to see the whole process so you understand how actually simple it is. And it does not take a tremendous amount of time. You're not going to dedicate a day to do this. I mean, like 30 minutes, you're done. Probably take you more time to clean up than it would be to actually do this. But anyway, that's it for this video. Definitely make sure, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please make sure, you know, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you got notifications turned on. That way you know when I drop videos. I think I forgot to say that at the beginning of the video. Wow. My brain. But let me know. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about this video. Let me know if you like it. If you want me to keep doing these, I would be more than happy to, because I love customizing things and putting my spin on it. But anyway, guys, I hope y'all have a great rest of the evening. Hope y'all have a great rest of the week. And always remember, toys refresh your soul, and I'll see you in the next video.